We hear the word partnership thrown around all the time in the business world, but what does it really mean? Today, we're going way beyond just the photo op and the handshake. We're diving into what it actually takes to build authentic, lasting partnerships with Indigenous communities. And spoiler alert, it's about a whole lot more than just good intentions.
So that's the big question, right? What is the secret sauce? Well, as we're about to find out, it's not some simple checklist you can just tick off. It's a deep, foundational commitment. A commitment that has to be built long, long before you ever shake a hand or sit down for a meeting. Let's start at the very beginning.
All right, first up, laying the groundwork. And honestly, this is the make or break stage. This is where success or failure is often decided, and it's also, sadly, the part that gets skipped the most. Because what you do inside your own organization to get ready, well, that's what determines if you're even prepared to start a real conversation.
Okay, let's get a key term straight right away. Indigenous protocols. Now, it's easy to mistake these for just informal customs or traditions, but they are so much more than that. Think of them as the official rulebook, governance-based frameworks for how to interact respectfully. And here's the thing, they're unique to each nation. Following them isn't just a nice-to-do, it is the absolute bedrock of trust.
This brings every organization to a fork in the road, a really critical choice. Are you going down the path of tokenism, engaging just for appearances, where it's all one-way communication and you're only thinking about the short term? Or are you going to build an authentic partnership, something based on a shared vision, mutual benefit, and real respect for cultural and intellectual property? One path destroys trust. The other one builds it to last.
So what does this homework actually look like? Well, it means taking the time to learn those nation-specific protocols we just talked about. It means making a real commitment from the top down to be transparent and share the benefits. And this one is huge. Investing in Indigenous-led cultural training for your team. Not some generic webinar, but training from Indigenous facilitators who bring that crucial lived context. This isn't about ticking a box. It's about truly preparing your organization to be a partner worthy of trust.
Okay, so you've done that internal groundwork, you're ready. Now it's time to actually reach out. This is where all that theory becomes practice. Your commitment to respect isn't just a document on a server anymore. It's shown in every single action you take from here on out.
And it is absolutely vital to understand who holds the knowledge you're seeking. Elders and knowledge keepers aren't just there for ceremony. They are the living libraries of a community. They hold the cultural, the spiritual, and the historical wisdom that has to guide any real engagement. To connect with them is to connect with the very heart of the nation.
These first steps are all about demonstrating respect in very practical ways. It starts with the basics, right? Be on time. Acknowledge that their time and contributions are valuable. Then, when you extend an invitation, be crystal clear. Tell them the purpose, who's going to be there, the timing, give them all the info they need to prepare. And when it comes to gifting, be thoughtful. Present it personally, and whenever you can, buy from Indigenous-owned businesses to make that support circular.
Here's another key term we need to get right. Honorarium. This is not just a fee for service. It's a formal, respectful acknowledgement for the invaluable time, knowledge, and expertise that your Indigenous partners are sharing. Providing an honorarium isn't some optional extra. It's a standard, essential part of doing this work ethically.
All right, you've done the homework, you've made that respectful first contact, but how do you actually turn that initial connection into a real, genuine, collaborative partnership? This is where the hard work really begins, building on that foundation of trust you've so carefully laid.
You have to see consultation as a journey, not just a single meeting. You've got to start early, before any of the big decisions have been locked in. You need to properly resource it so your partners can give you informed, meaningful input. But you know what the most critical part is? Following through, acting on what you've heard, and then reporting back on the outcomes. Because absolutely nothing breaks trust faster than giving feedback that just disappears into a black hole.
So what are the signs you're getting it right? What are the hallmarks of a true partnership? Well, it's when you move beyond just consulting and start including Indigenous partners in actual governance. It's when the goal isn't just a win for your company, but a mutual benefit for the community.
And ultimately, it's about creating a culturally safe and comfortable space where everyone can engage in a positive, stress-free way. This all leads us to the final and maybe the most transformative part of the entire journey. In a true partnership, you don't get to define success on your own terms. You have to build that vision of the future and figure out how you're going to measure it together.
Think about success like this. On one side, you have your organization's goals. On the other, the community has its priorities. A true partnership doesn't try to force one to fit the other. Instead, real success is found right there in the middle, in that shared vision where both sets of goals can meet and thrive. And that sweet spot, that's where your co-created metrics have to live. A real partnership is a living thing. It's not static. It stays healthy through this powerful cycle of continuous improvement. You co-create the metrics for success, you report back transparently, the good and the bad, on how things are going, and then you adapt your plans based on that feedback. And adapting isn't a sign of failure. It's the sign of a healthy relationship that's alive and getting stronger. When you get right down to it, the ultimate goal isn't just about finishing one project. The real measure of success is building a relationship that is so strong, so respectful, that it becomes the launching pad for the next project, and the one after that, and the one after that.
So, we'll leave you with this question. When you think about everything we've talked about, deep listening, shared governance, co-creating success, mutual benefit, ask yourself honestly, is your organization truly ready to move beyond the handshake and build for the long term?